Good afternoon, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And today's tutorial is going to have two pieces. We're tying a deer hair popper. So the first piece will be putting the tail on and putting the spacer in and getting the hair onto the hook. And then the next segment will be the trim. So without further ado, the hook that I'm using for this bug is Gamakatsu B10S in size 8. For the tail, I'm using Nature Spirit Premium Buggerbou in yellow and Nature Spirit Premium Buggerbou in olive. Hairline's Senyo Lazer Dub in Sculpin olive. And it's got some flash in it. I'm using Krystal Flash from Hairline in Rootbeer, but the bag blew up, so I had to use a Ziploc bag. So you're gonna select one of your yellow Buggerbous, and you're gonna trim the point off, and then you're gonna take a side off. You get it all lined up into a clump like this, one shank length long. And tie it in. You're going to start your thread back around the point. You don't really want to get too much material in front of the point because you're taking up room for the head, and then you end up getting head into the gap, which is bad. You're going to take one of the strands of Rootbeer Krystal Flash. You're going to cut it in half, fold it over. You can straighten them out by tapping down on that loop. And then make sure they're even. Take a couple of wraps to get that secure, and then bring it over. And then just like you did with the yellow Buggerbou, you're going to take an olive Buggerbou, you got that nice point there. You're going to trim that off. Set it aside. And then you're going to peel these fibers off of the side of the shank, the stem rather. And then add them to what you clipped off the tip. And that gives you a nice full tail to attach. You want to make sure that that's one shank length. Trim your waist. Get that attached. Make sure you take a couple of wraps around the shank in front, and that kind of locks everything down. Make sure everything is all in place where you want it. All right, and then you're going to take a little head cement. I keep my head cement in a fingernail polish bottle that I actually stole fair and square from my mother 20 years ago. Excuse me. I'm going to take you a little Senyo laser dub. And just turn that onto the thread. You don't need a whole real long rope. This is your spacer. This is what keeps your head out of the gap. Put a couple of half hitches right there. Hit it with a little head cement. All right. Now comes the fun part. So, spinning deer hair gets a little messy, so I wear this barbecue apron that my kids gave me for Father's Day several years ago. In fact, my youngest was 3, and my oldest was had just turned 8. Excuse me. And now my youngest is, well, let me see, born in 99, 23. Now my youngest is 24 years old. So anyway, you got your clump of, this is hairline deer body. It was white dyed olive. So you're just gonna grab you a little chunk. You don't want too big of a chunk. If you get too big of a chunk, then you won't really get a good tight pack. So take you a little chunk, pull the shorties out and the fur. See, little chunk about yay big. Now, instead of letting it fly around the hook, we're going to stack this. So it's just going to go right there. You're going to hold it in place, pull it till it flares. You don't want to pull it real hard, because you might break the thread. And then the next one is same brand. It's just now this one is Nature Spirits deer belly dyed tan over white. So I chose these colors because we're imitating a frog, and frogs are olive to green on top, and a lot of times their bellies are off-white or white or what have you. So they're a two-toned bug. So that's why I chose those colors. So get you another clump. Now these are kind of long, this Nature Spirit. So I trim the real fine tops off, adjust it in my fingers, and then pull the shorties and under fur out. And then you see this little part here that's kind of not dyed all the way. I just kind of trim that off. hold it in place, get a pinch wrap of thread on there, just tug a little bit, get another pinch wrap of thread on there, and then tug it till it's snug. It's going to try to roll on you, don't let it. All right, next, you're going to pack it. So pull the fibers back, and you can kind of push them back with your thumb and index finger. But then to pack, I use, I got this little brass, this is a Griffin deer hair packer. Got this a long time ago. But you can also use like the front of an ink pen. There's a lot of stuff that you can use as a hair packer. Excuse me. Just slide that right on the hook. Put your thumb and forefinger back here on the spacer and push the two of them together. You want to really push that hair up, then take your fingers, rake it back, pull the thread up through the bottom, and take a couple turns. And there you go. There's the first one. Another clump of olive. Pull the shorties out. Go on top. Another clump of tan. I can't stress this enough. You don't want to get great big clumps of hair. You want smaller clumps so you can put on lots of layers because they pack better and they make a better looking bug. See how that wants to roll? You can't let it roll. So there's two. Another clump of olive. Another clump of tan. Get the packer on there. Another clump of olive. Get the shorties out. Another clump of tan. I don't know if I'm going to get any more on there or not. Let's see. Probably not. Maybe one more. Yeah. You want to try to stuff as much on this shank as you can, because the more hair you have on the shank, better looking fly you're going to have when it's done. Right here, when you're finishing up, sometimes you got to take this packer and push the top back so you got room to put the bottom on. All right. Get that packer in there again. Give it a good push. You can get your thread in there. Build you a head and get this thing tied off. There we go. All right, now we're going to do what's called a 5 and 3 whip finish. Excuse me. Flymaster, Danville Flymaster is a flat thread, so you want the thread to be tight and not loose. So give it a spin to the right, and that'll tighten the fibers up. And 5 and 3 whip finish is exactly how it sounds. It's just 5 turns under 3 turns. Try not to catch any hair, which I caught some hair. If you catch hair, that's all right. Just pull them out. There's the 5-part. There's 3-part. I want you to also take note to the tools I'm using, okay? So this is 140 denier thread, so I'm using short leg bobbin with a 1.5-inch tube, okay? If I was using thinner thread, I'd be using a longer leg bobbin. Both of them are ceramic lined tubes. Excuse me. Also, notice the scissors I'm using. So for the hair, I'm using spring scissors. Okay, I get these for like $1.25 at a surplus store up in Pennsylvania. All right. Hair is very abrasive, so if you cut hair with your good scissors will get dull quickly. However, you get your cheap scissors dull, who gives a crap? You got 5 more pair in the drawer. So keep that in mind, you know, just for your own reference. So I'm going to put a dollop of head cement. This is Rumpf head cement. Now, of course, you could use, you know, Sally Hansen hard as nails or super glue or whatever you want to use. But of course, this is a dry fly, so you don't really want to be using UV resin on it. So now to fluff this out, and I'm gonna do this. Actually, this is gonna end up being a 3-part because I'm gonna do a shorter thing where I show you how to steam this hair to make it stand out better. But that's next. I'm not gonna do that right this second. So thank you for taking the time to look at this. This has been George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And you can find this and a lot of other tutorials by go to YouTube and type in custom-tied in the search block, and my YouTube channel will come up. You can also find lots of good information on my showcase website at www.custom-tied, that's TIED.com. Excuse me. So, and if you want to find the virtual fly shop on Facebook, then you can search Custom Tire 02. That's CUSTOMTYER 02. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. Happy tying.